Well, guys, it's time. I hate this time of year. We have a threat of frost this week, which means I need to harvest what's left in the garden. So I was really hoping that I could avoid having to do this week. The tomato literally just fell out of here because Caleb is finishing our kitchen. He's grouting everything right now, our whole backsplash. And so everything is taken off the counter and onto the island. And so I don't have the space or necessarily the time. Actually, I will have some more time this weekend after Silas goes to be with my parents, but I don't have the space to be preserving a bunch of food. So we will see how this works. This is just the reality of homesteading, especially on a small scale on a small house. This is the struggle that we have to deal with, is the burden of abundance and a timeline that we can't control. So on today's agenda of things to do in the garden, pick all of the red tomatoes. I'm tempted to leave the okra. They're all too big anyways to actually harvest. So I might just leave them and let them harden on the vine and then save the seeds from that. I need to harvest all of the loofah because I did Google it. My last video, I definitely didn't get it up before the threat of frost this week. But I was asking if anybody has grown loofah before, if they knew how cold tolerant it was. And I've read online that it does not like frost at all, even a light frost. So I'm going to harvest that. I'm going to harvest the pumpkins, the jester melons, and all of my peppers. I think that's it. And then I've got some other little knickknacks that we just usually eat in the garden, and I might as well just harvest them and eat them inside since it's going to freeze. We have been harvesting these sour gherkins or cuckoo melons and pickling them just in a simple pickle brine that we keep in the fridge, and we love them. But if we don't pickle them, we just eat them out of the garden, which they taste, if you haven't had them before, what are you doing, Doug? They taste like a citrusy cucumber is probably the best way that I can describe them. So this year, the cherry tomatoes that I decided to grow were my favorites, which are these guys. These are super sweet 100s. You can get them from a variety of different seed providers. But the other variety that I grew is called pole cherry tomato. I don't remember where I got them from. Also not anything super special, but I will say both of them are incredibly prolific. The super sweet 100s I have found to be more sweeter than the other pole variety cherry tomato. Now I kid you not, y'all, I have probably collected 12 to 16 gallons of cherry tomatoes off of these plants. And I think that there are 2 or 3 planted over here. And then there are 2 or 3 planted on the other bed as well. And one of my favorite things to do with cherry tomatoes is you get a sheet pan full of cherry tomatoes. Obviously pick the skin or the stems off. If you want, you can roast them and pull the skins off. Personally, I don't, because that's a lot of work and I'm just kind of lazy when it comes to cooking like that. But I get a whole pan full of cherry tomatoes, and then I put some sort of cheese. So you can do feta, you can do cream cheese, you can do goat cheese. I haven't tried any of like the hard cheeses, but I'm sure that you could do that. Maybe, I don't know, don't take my word for it. But one of those soft cheeses is the best. And then you just season it with like basic Italian seasoning or oregano, parsley, garlic, salt and pepper, obviously to taste. And then you roast them at about 375 to 400 for about a half hour or so, just until like everything is starting to like turn a little bit brown. And then after you roast it, you throw it into a blender or like a hand mixer or something and mix it all up, and it makes the most delicious Ooh, it's windy. The most delicious sauce for like pasta or over chicken parmesan or just, it's so scrumptious. I can never get enough of it. It's my favorite thing to do with cherry tomatoes if you don't feel like eating them right off the vine or preserving them. Now, unfortunately, I don't think I'm gonna get any tomatillos this year. Try to give you a sneak peek into this one. They are not ready. And when they are ready, usually the paper's like yellow, tannish, and ready to fall off. But this volunteer just took off later than the other volunteers, and unfortunately I pulled the other volunteers because I thought that they were a weed, but now I know better. So we'll see if these guys actually make it. They might be safe just because they're kind of in like a little inlet here. They'll be covered if we have a very light frost tonight. It's only supposed to get to 34 and then it's supposed to get to 32 tomorrow night. But you know, the weather's the weather. It could be determined to be 34 tonight and it could easily drop down to 32 quickly. So that's why we're harvesting everything, just to be safe. I will say I am done with my green beans. I had several different harvests. Can you guys hear the neighbor kids? I love it. It reminds me of my childhood. But I did harvest quite a bit of bush beans off of here. And so these guys I am going to let go to seed, collect the seed pods because they are heirlooms, which means I can save them and plant them next year. Do you guys see that? Look at this. This is a massive loofah plant. It's huge. I posted on one of the Facebook groups, the gardening groups that I'm on, and asked if anybody was willing to trade seeds or swap seeds for some loofah seeds. And this gal said that she had extra long loofah seeds. And I was like, well, the more the merrier, right? This plant, if you've been here at all this summer, if you've been seeing my videos, you know that this loofah plant has taken over my garden. Yeah. It is terrible. So my pumpkins are growing up in our hydrangea bush. It's crazy. But I will not be growing loofah, at least not this extra long variety again, because I think it took too long to ripen. Like seriously, the gourds, once they came on quickly. So that was nice. But they also came on really late, and I planted these, I direct sowed them in early May. So I really used our entire season, which tells me that they had to have been at least 120, 140 days to maturity. She didn't tell me because they were just seeds that she had saved. But now I know. If I grow loofah again, I should probably just do the regular size because the days to maturity is more than likely going to be shorter because the plant fruit is much smaller. I do need to get those harvested. But before I do that, I need... I've got more cherry tomatoes. This is so funny. Just this week, I sent out on my newsletter. If you're not a part of it, you can subscribe to the newsletter. No, I will not spam your inbox. You'll be lucky if you get a newsletter once a month from me. But you can go subscribe over on the blog if you're interested. I was talking about how this part of the garden season as a homesteader and as a gardener in general is one of two options. Either like you're at your capacity and you just are done and you let nature take her course. Or two, you're like me and you're a suburban homesteader and you have to squeeze out every ounce that you can get in order to like meet the goals that you have. And so with my goals, I can't afford to stop, especially when it comes to tomatoes, because here in Zone 5 in eastern Iowa, the tomatoes took so long to turn red this year for whatever reason. They were 4 weeks behind what they were last year. And so I am not willing to let them just go to nature. My okra, on the other hand, I am willing to let that happen, but not my tomatoes. So let's finish getting these harvests. Now there's still a healthy amount of cherry tomatoes in here. Gosh, it just never ends, honestly. What a blessing. But I think I have enough. I think I'm quite satisfied with what I've harvested. And then if I get the gumption tomorrow, if we don't actually freeze tonight, I'll come out and just harvest the rest that I'm not grabbing at the moment. That's one full basket of cherry tomatoes. got quite a few here. These are actually black crim. Hi, baby. Okay. And these were supposed to be beefy boys. Honestly, not planting them again. I do really love black crim in the way that they taste. However, they did not do well this year either. And I did notice I have a pineapple tomato, which I planted them way over there, but they've crept over here. So there's one right there. I haven't had a ripe one in quite a while. And then I have an unhealthy amount of Jersey Devil tomatoes, which are my #1 favorite tomato. And they're green, which is such a bummer. I mean, I'm gonna pick them and let them ripen in a cardboard box, but it makes me so sad. So sad that they didn't get to ripen on the vine this year. Hi, darling, what you doing? Go get some more. Go find some. The amount of leaves on my vest right now is obnoxious. I just watched back one of those videos and I was like, oh, did I go through mud? Did I get splattered? Did the dog shake? No, it was just from walking. Let me show y'all. It's just from walking right through there. Had to get all my little cherry tomatoes, had to go underneath the tunnel, and usually when I do that I get caught up in all of the little branches hanging down. Isn't that funny? The pumpkin, which was planted way over there, grew up into the hydrangea bush and then crawled across and grabbed onto the trellis up here with the tomatoes. You are quite ambitious, little pumpkin. Look at that. Caught red-handed. I am gonna tap him out of there and save this. I mean, this is quite a large tomato and it's just the little top part he's been eating on. How puny the harvest. I actually forgot about the other side and I found some more pineapple tomatoes hiding on the other side. Those were really prolific, I will say. I would definitely grow these again. Okay, I think I am gonna move on to the peppers, which are gonna take some time. Thankfully, they're little, but I think I'm gonna harvest the red and the green. I've been waiting for my peppers to be completely red because we have been fermenting them for hot sauce. And I've got a couple jars fermenting right now. It's been several weeks, actually. I need to check them. But these guys, you can ferment red and green. It's just obviously they're hotter when they're red. You guys remember when Silas planted seashells in the garden? So all of these peppers, we've got the Brazilian starfish, Georgia flame, goat's horn, and then 2 different jalapeno varieties here. They're already filling this basket. And that's seriously from here to about, right here, to about here. And then we're getting into some habaneros. So that's gonna be fun. I'm not wearing gloves, so y'all remind me not to touch my face later. I just picked, I mean, these look like the shape of a habanero. They're kind of dented, but I thought habaneros only got to that yellow-orange color, but I guess maybe they also go red. Oh, that's news to me. You learn something new all the time. You can smell how spicy these are. All I'm thinking about is 1, don't touch your face, don't touch your face, don't touch your face. And 2, what the heck am I gonna do with all these peppers? And I do think, I mean, I'm gonna ferment some more hot sauce, of course, because we're playing around with what we like. But we were big fans of cowboy candy last year, and so we will definitely be doing some cowboy candy as well. Y'all have got to let me know, what do you love to do with hot peppers? What's your go-to recipe? How do you like to preserve them? maybe what's something you tried and you didn't like, just let me know in the comments below. Let's flood the comments with hot pepper recipes. Let me catch it from you. We got tomatoes over here we need to harvest. Woo! Glad that did not fall on me. So I quickly learned that I have more peppers than I can carry in my regular garden baskets. I'm gonna leave this one because I've got it sorted, but I'm gonna finish picking the Anaheims, the habaneros, some bell peppers, and then more jalapenos and just put them in this 5-gallon bucket. Okay, I think I've got everything harvested. There's 2 5-gallon buckets stuck together here, but look at that. Look at the beautiful color.
Yep.
And then we've got this basket as well.
Yep.
Silas, do you see any more peppers in there?
I'm gonna go search around.
You're gonna go search around?
Yep.
See one little guy right here. I've had to like get down on a different angle. Okay, now, did you find one?
Yep.
Really? Hey, good eye, brother. Good job. I do need to harvest this dill here, so I'm gonna cut this off and stick it in my flower basket, as well as some basil. But I think before I harvest the basil, I need to get started on probably the jester melons. I've been out here an hour and a half. I'm definitely gonna have, oh, I just found another pepper. Definitely gonna have to save some of this work, some jalapeno, for tomorrow, which thankfully tonight it's only supposed to get to 34. So I think, honestly, my loofahs, God forbid it hits freezing, should be okay at 34 because they're all covered and they're like in the plants. Whereas like the pumpkins and the jester melons, they have been taken over by powdery mildew. So I need to harvest them. Did y'all know this is what tomatoes look like if we don't trellis them? They're like a brambly bush. These are where all my extra tomatoes went because I just couldn't come to throwing these perfectly good little seedlings away. So unfortunately, many of them have been taken over by the ground, which is exactly why we as gardeners trellis tomatoes, because if we let them grow on the ground, they're more than likely going to do what they were intended to do and be eaten by little critters and multiply as they spread across the ground. And this is just gonna go right back into the soil, but I am gonna harvest these, especially like anything worth any size. I'll add them to my box. All right, now I've got to go haul those pumpkins, but I'm trying to think. I might stick them in the wheelbarrow. Honestly, think smarter, not harder when homesteading. Supposed to get to 34 tonight. Yeah, and then 32 tomorrow, so I have to harvest everything.
Yay!
Okay.
Woo! That's fun, Mama.
Good. Let's harvest the pumpkins. Can you help me? Big enough. I need my bigger one. Okay. These aren't quite ready. These are the sugar pie pumpkins, and I read online that you can harvest pumpkins even if they haven't completely matured on the vine, which is unfortunately what we have to do. But people said on Google that it's okay. So we're doing it because we'd rather risk picking them too early than letting the frost take them and not having pumpkins at all because they turn to mush, right? Yeah. That's okay. This is our first time ever growing pumpkins. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
We grew that. Wear gloves next time. Goodness sakes.
Yeah, me too.
You want to come get this from me? Now the jester melons aren't pokey at all.
Oh, good.
Wow, this
I'm gonna go get the ones in the neighbor's yard.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
All right, mister. All right, I gotta be careful with this one.
Okay.
Woohoo!
Wait, good thing I got the stuff. Oh.
I spy a pumpkin. Can you guys see it?
Where?
It's growing in the planter
Ah!
with the moonflowers.
What?
Honestly, this is more fun than harvesting potatoes.
Mommy, the plant's what? The plant's what, Mommy?
We've got more pumpkins to get. They're hanging in the tree. How many can you count?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5. Oh, yeah, good eye. I didn't see that one. Squeeze! Muscles! Okay.
I actually think there's one more.
This is the tunnel that destroyed my vest. Taken off too. Oh my goodness! I gotta show y'all that loofah gourd that we just found when harvesting those pumpkins. It was right in front of our faces and both of us were like, holy cow, look at this thing. Look at this. It's as big as one Silas.
This big.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
I'm like this big.
Yeah.
That's how tall I am.
Yeah. All right, friends, we are gonna harvest a couple loofah gourds, the ones that are exposed, kind of like this one, to any cool air. And then we're gonna get inside because it's dinner time. Mama's gotta go make dinner.
Yeah.
And we gotta figure out.
And they're also done make pumpkin soup.
Pumpkin soup, I guess. I don't know, we'll see. We gotta figure out what to do with all this produce though and where to put it.
Mommy, can I just decorate one pumpkin?
Of course we'll decorate pumpkins. We grew our own pumpkins this year. How amazing is that?
Or decorate pumpkins?
All right, come here.
Yay!
Come here.
But it's not Halloween.
You wanna wait till Halloween? Say, see you later.
Bye. I love you in the heart of home.
I love you, and we're the heart of home. Yep, we're the heart of home. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye bye.